India should acknowledge permanent interests, but not permanent allies. What is the difference between a good terrorist and a bad terrorist? How Pakistan's good terrorist, bad terrorist game is hurting war on terror. Then how should Pakistan fight the terrorism in order to succeed? What is the way forward for India? GS Paper 2, India and its neighbours. What is the context about? The debate over good terrorist and bad terrorist reignited again, when China blocked a move by the US, UK and France this month, to designate Maulana Masood Azhar as global terrorist. He was asked to designate as global terrorist under the UNSC 1267 resolution on Al-Qaeda and its affiliates. It is clear that China now believes that it has the muscle to stand up alone to the West, when it comes to its core interests like Pakistan, South China Sea or South Tibet. It is the same Beijing-branded Tibetan leader-in-exile Dalai Lama as a terrorist, now come out in support of known pan-Islamic jihadist Masood Azhar. What is the difference between a good terrorist and a bad terrorist? A bad terrorist is like the men who attacked the army public school in Peshawar, killing innocent children and teachers. Here they are right that the terrorists are bad. A good terrorist is the one who carries out jihad against India, because they see India as the enemy. So anything that harms us is considered good by them. There should be no distinction between these two. A terrorist is a terrorist. How Pakistan's good terrorist, bad terrorist game is hurting war on terror. To be fair, Pakistan Army took the fight against terrorism more seriously than before, driven by public sentiment and US demands. But the country still falls well short in addressing the vital question of how to stop militant Islamist outfits acting as strategic assets against Afghanistan and India. These groups could be used for achieving Pakistan's initial objectives. But they then take on a life of their own, often not obeying their masters. In other words, Pakistan continues to be a victim of the fallacious distinction between good terrorist and bad terrorist. Then how should Pakistan fight the terrorism in order to succeed? Unless Pakistan makes a strategic shift in its approach of not using its demons as angels in furthering its interests in the subcontinent, its own fight against terror cannot succeed. There have been many bloody wake-up calls, and there have been many half measures. But to win its own battle against terrorism, Pakistan needs to go the whole way. And all the countries with a stake in the region need to either help Pakistan in its efforts, or at least give it a long rope. What is the way forward for India? Sino-Indian ties show no signs of improvement. China is making serious inroads into South Asia due to its far better project implementation strategy. Pakistan continues to play the jihadist card in Kashmir or in Indian hinterland. Under the circumstances, India needs to revive its engagement with Southeast Asian countries through shared Muslim heritage and the West Asian powers including Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates and Israel, as these countries are no longer interested in color of the passports of the engaging country. India should also go for permanent interests rather than permanent allies.